Well, we also wanted to talk about Kanye, making a lot of headlines. We saw you were tweeting about him, and you're talking about, how he impacts artists nowadays. Did you want to just elaborate on that more than
Absolutely. You asked me a question about Kanye. I'll put the marker down.
He was just here.
He was just here.
Yes, on Sunday.
Oh, my goodness. I think Kanye is probably one of the most misunderstood artists right now. And actually probably in the history of music for a multitude of reasons, and mostly because he's such a polarizing artist. He has such a polarizing split in the fact that people either love him or they hate him. No one is indifferent about Kanye West. People either love him or they hate him. And what that is an artist that's capable of provoking a strong reaction out of people. And if you can provoke feeling, you're doing your job as an artist. And so some of the things that he's done in the past few years that I don't think many people have paid attention to because of how he's been portrayed in mainstream media is almost like a renaissance of modern culture. And I saw him at the Hollywood Bowl a couple nights ago. He performed 808s and Heartbreak in its entirety, and it was a modern day opera. It was an opera. There was, two muses to the front of the stage, one that represents, from what I interpreted, one that represented his mother and one that represented, the idea of this beautiful, romantic, passionate gain, this woman gilded in gold. And it was such a powerful thing to watch. It was almost like a modern pop culture Mozart, and it was such a moving thing for me. I cried like the whole time watching it because I was so affected by it. And the thing about Kanye West is that he's an artist. There's not an artist in 2015 that can tell you they aren't in some way affected by Kanye West. Whether it's Taylor Swift dropping his album, at the VMAs, whether it's any artist, and especially, in urban lanes of music, citing him as a massive inspiration. I mean, I know artists like Chance the Rapper, Childish Gambino will, go to bat for him any day, and I would do the same. I think that he is one of the most misunderstood artists, and more recently seeing him open up in a more vulnerable way. 808s and Heartbreak is a very vulnerable record, so his decision to perform that at the Hollywood Bowl kind of ignited like a light bulb in my head about what he must be feeling right now, with the birth of his daughter, and he has a new child on the way, and this idea of opening up in a vulnerable space when the media has kind of pushed him into himself, the past few years. So I think he's an incredibly important asset to modern music, and I could talk about him for a really long time, so I should stop.
No, I'm like, if anyone doesn't like Kanye, hopefully after that they do.
Right. No, I feel like it's inspiring. Do you have any thoughts about the presidency in that respect? Because do you think that ties in, or is that a totally separate entity?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure how seriously you're meant to take that claim. I think more than anything, he's trying to open a dialogue, open a conversation, because if you can start a conversation that is Kanye West for president, what it does is it directs your attention to the other candidates in question, and it makes you say, if Kanye West could potentially legitimately run for president, what does that say about the candidates we have at stake right now? And it kind of opens this narrative, this political narrative that makes you reconsider the candidacy. And, by taking the attention away from the other candidates and the other potential candidates and our future of candidates, what he's doing is turning the conversation actually back on them from a new perspective. So he's very smart in doing that, because he's kind of approaching it from a pop culture perspective and maybe making you question the validity of, the culture and the media perspective of the candidates right now. So.
Definitely.